everybody, and welcome back to Photographer Life Check. I'm your host, Chrissy, and today we have the illustrious Tsehay. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, hey. Right, so happy to have you here. I want to start off like we always do with a quick little photographer fit check. The things I'm seeing already are so fab, so please, let's get into it. It could be the hair, the jewelry, the
Okay.
top, however you feeling.
Well, I have my waves. Shout out to
Waves on
the
swim,
shout out to
so
the
they
foam and the dough hair foam, and it's either I use Baskin lather hair gel, or was She's Bomb hair gel.
beautiful.
Just a regular white top with a little shoulder out. And then the NYX lip gloss.
Come
And
on.
then this chain is from, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but it's a black woman owned brand in Atlanta, John Meady. I think that's how you say her, John Mighty.
Hmm.
It's her necklace brand. So yeah.
Okay, cute. I'll look that up so we could tag it. For all the photographer fit checks, I always have to tag, especially the small owned brands, so we can give this some
Definitely.
shine where we can.
Tag
And
them.
now that I think about it, I definitely should have just wore the waves today, so we could be just an ocean up in here today.
Ocean gang.
Yeah.
It's women.
But today I pulled up just with my supervision cap. I love this cap so much. I'm a gold gal. The necklace I never take off. And I swear by a Uniqlo basic. It's only a couple brands that I love a basic from, and Uniqlo gonna always be at the
Uniqlo,
top of that
guys,
list.
the
Come
best.
on.
And as a
Love
photographer,
her.
like when I went on tour, got everything on my black shirts, everything Uniqlo. When you wash it,
Exactly.
it still stay good, everything.
Over
So
and over and over again. We love
mhm.
Uniqlo.
we love Uniqlo. Get it? That's
Okay, you know what I'm saying? Call me.
hey, can we take pictures?
No, for real. What you need?
But
So I want to start off by saying first, thank you to Zay Monet, who is the person that referred you to us. She put you into our awareness, and I'm really happy she did because I love your work. When I saw everything, I was like, I gotta hit up Kai. So shout
yeah,
out to Zay for that.
now shout out to her. Like she's like one of my favorite other event photographers, black women photographers. Like I found her on Instagram when I was like looking for photographers like in the Cali area, and I just fell in love with her work. So, been able to book her for stuff and things like that. Like her work, events, top tier. Like she does
Top
that.
tier.
She does that.
Yeah, she eats. We love you, Zay. But to jump straight into it, I want to talk about like how you have all this time and going through your work, babes. It seems like you do everything. And that's what I want to talk about today.
Okay,
One thing
definitely.
one thing that comes up a lot, for I think creatives in general is this idea of like niching down. And folks need to like pick a thing, stick to it, and then expand. But something that I really loved about how you present yourself, your portfolio, and your Instagram, your presence online is the range at which you just navigate into all these little niches. For example, you do magazine covers, editorial portraits, campaigns with brands, album covers, press, BTS on all types of
All
different
that.
events, nightlife, and then you're also a photo commissioner or a title that I learned on your website, photo A&R. That just sound hard. That's just beautiful. I'm like, I like that.
Nah. So I guess like the way I'm able to do everything, to be honest, is I started off doing a lot of stuff. So it's just kind of like I've been shooting for I guess like 12 years now. So since I was 16, I'm now
Mhm.
28. So when I started doing photography, I was like a really heavy, like I wanted to do like editorial stuff, studio, portraiture and all that. Then I went heavy into the music industry. And I would say like the music industry photography really does teach you to be able to like bounce around and like be prepared
Yeah.
for anything you have to shoot. And then I would say like my niche right now is events. It's just I would say like a lot of times people think like my event work sometimes is like portraiture or editorial. I just shoot it events
Mm,
like it's that. And that's because of having the background before.
mm,
And then also, I think the reason I'm able to do so many niches is because it's all still like under the same umbrella of photography. Like I've really branded myself or made sure that I've stayed like in the photo world. So like when I'm doing like media coordinating or producing or anything like that, or photo A&Ring for the agency I work for, it's all still under photography. So once you have, I feel like that photography skill, like it translates across the board. If you want to be a newborn photographer, wedding photographer, event, music, it all translates across the board. So that's kind of like how I'm able to do everything. And not trying to be fake, getting into my little influencer bag sometimes, you know. That's actually hard, but the photo stuff, I feel like has so many years of doing it that it's like it's like
It's
easy
easier
now.
for you to, like, navigate through. I appreciate that perspective, especially I think, it's quite, like, a masculine idea to tell somebody to, like, niche down. It seems like this really big hustle culture idea where it's like you need
Yeah.
to go, go, go. You gotta do your thing, and you gotta stick to it and remain committed, and I really appreciate when I find women in particular who use different language especially to use that. So, I'm curious in terms of hustle culture and doing all the different types of jobs that you do, what's your relationship to it?
I'm probably pro hustle culture.
Mhm.
Shout out to my Capricorn in me.
Oh, true.
I'm always on the go and always doing stuff. Like, and even when it does burn me out, I actually enjoy it. Um,
Mhm.
I don't know, it's kinda exciting to me, I guess. Like, it's like, "Okay, what's the next thing? What's the next thing?" But it's also kinda destabilizing for me too, like, it also can cause a lot of anxiety. So for me, I personally don't have a problem with it because I think I've found ways to, like, balance it out. I would say, like, one example is, like, for example, I fake live in the burbs, so my life is in New York, but I live in Jersey, and I remember when I first moved out here, I was like, "I'm gonna move to New York and move to New York." But I always
Mhm.
say, like, I honestly think, like, God made it a blessing for me to fake live in Jersey because it's like when I come home, it's, like, very I call it, like, very peaceful here. People say my crib feels like a neo soul music video, but it's, like,
I
very
like that.
peaceful, not a lot going on compared to, like, my life. Like, you would think that, like I know if I lived in New York, really lived in the city, I'd probably even be out every single day. I'd probably
Yeah.
take every single gig of every moment that I could, but I think, like, my life just balances out in ways where, you know, I don't have to, like, always hustle, even though I feel like my brain is always on it, but for me, I really have a positive headspace with it, but I do understand how, like, it can be very detrimental, especially, like, in this capitalist, like, society. So, yeah.
Yeah. I saw that you're from DC, and what I know about women from DC is y'all be going hard, and based on your
Definitely.
portfolio, you be going hard.
So hard.
You be doing all the things, and I love that. I love DC women, but it's kinda interesting. Your accent sound a little like Jersey. Have you been there for a
I
minute?
don't know, maybe because I've lived in many places, so I kind of like a I think it's
Mm,
called a colloquial accent where it's like
mhm,
people usually don't know where I'm from. They know I'm from the East Coast, but like they don't know where I'm from. I lived I moved from DC when I was like 14, 15 to Florida. And then from Florida, I was in Florida for like 3 years. Then I went straight to college in Atlanta. And then from Atlanta, made my way to New Jersey, New York area. And that's where I've been. And then also like, you know, what you're raised with at home. Like my mother's from the UK. So got
mm,
the British accent in there, Caribbean accent. And then the
yeah,
dad, he's from Virginia. He's Black American. So I have a whole bunch of mix of different places, but
yeah,
I can see the Jersey thing. It's probably like, you know, when you go to like a new area and you just like
you just
start to
pick up
pick
the
up
accent.
on the accent a little bit or certain slang and things like that. But you know, people always they're like, I don't know where you're from. I just know you're from the East Coast. So
True. Okay, that makes sense on, like, the amalgamation of accents that's just
yeah.
influencing your voice. I was just surprised to hear it because 'cause I'm like, "Wait, I read that she was from DC, but it's giving a
Nah.
little
Yeah, I
Caribbean
don't
Jersey girl, like, what's going on?"
I do not have a DMV accent. I wish I did, but I don't. So
Okay, for sure. Well, back to you going hard. This idea of niching down, you said throughout your creative journey, you kinda just always did it all. Did you ever feel pressure to niche down then? Like, were people ever telling you, like, in your ear, like, "You should probably just stick to this or that?"
oh, definitely. I definitely have been pressured to niche down. Like I've done like you know, like them portfolio reviews of people, and they're like, you should really find a niche. You should really find like what you want to do. And I do find there's truth in that.
Mhm.
Cause like with me, I feel like when I finally like found and discovered my passion for like event photography, and that's like where I decided to really like focus and put my all in for real out of everything I've done. Like I was a music industry photographer while I was doing like studio stuff. But when I really like fell in love with event photography, that is when I started to see like a lot of fruition
Mhm.
in my work, like development in my work when it comes to getting paid, when it comes to making connections and things like that, and just happiness as being a photographer. So I'm not like anti niche, but I definitely think you should be able to, like, when you do step out your niche, be able to do anything. So I definitely have that pressure, but I'm also kind of glad that I've kind of honed it in a little bit.
Yeah. That makes me so happy that you get that feeling too, because I always tell people, like, that's how you know. Like,
Yeah, that's how you
I
know.
mean,
When you figure out your niche, that's how you know. Like I know
literally.
I can do everything, but I'm events. Like if you need an event photographer, yo, I'm your number one girl for it. So yeah.
Yeah, and we're gonna pull up your website while we talk about it a little bit.
Okay,
If this is your
cool.
first time tuning in, we always love to pull up the photographer's website who we're talking to for the day.
Why
We
is it
wanna see all
beautiful?
the beautiful work. There we go.
Hey,
So, while we're talking about all this gorgeous event photography, can you tell us a little bit about, like, your approach with events, since that's like your bread and butter, the thing you fell in love with the most. I like that you said like sometimes you just shoot them like it's an editorial in your
yeah.
brains since you have that. So can you tell us like what you're looking for when you're at these events, whether it's like branded like something like this or like party style?
So my biggest thing about when it comes to me shooting events, and I think that's what helped me find my niche, is I look for capturing Black people specifically having fun.
Mhm.
A big thing with me about event photography, I kind of see as documentarian work, like historical. I want there to be photos for the next generation to see us having fun instead of like all the stuff that media tends to show. So like that's my first thing, is looking for people who are like genuinely having a good ass time. Then my approach is like to actually get photos from people. Like I'll go up to them, I'll chit chat them up, make them feel good. And being a Black woman photographer, people get really excited to see me. Um,
Mhm.
damn, I haven't seen those photos in a minute, but I love these photos. But like people get really excited for me to take a photo of them. Because you know, they don't see Black women photographers in the space as much. I do see them more, but I tend to be like the only one at times. And also just like gassing somebody up, like, hey, let me get a photo of you. And a lot of times people are like, what do you mean? Especially when they're like, you want a photo of me? I'm like, yeah, when I came up to you, you didn't look good. So that part. I would say another like great marketing thing is when I tend to like shoot events, I come to the event as I look like I'm a party goer. So a lot
Mhm.
of times people are like shocked that I'm actually shooting the event. And I always tell, like, you know, you don't always gotta wear all black. Like get fly, get cute when you shoot. Like that makes people even more intrigued. So that's part of it. And then one of my really main things is I like to get people to laugh. So a lot of times I'll either maybe throw a joke in there, or a lot of people know me for I be telling people to fake laugh. And when I tell people
Mhm.
to fake laugh, I get the shot I want, but it also gets the person, the muse, to actually laugh. And yeah, that's pretty much my approach. And then also too, I'm a very fast shooter. I kind of get my shot and I keep it moving.
Yeah.
So I'm very big on that. I'm like after I chit chat you for a little bit, I'm gonna get the shot. I gotta get to the next people. So I guess that's like kind of my approach, but just making people feel good and making them laugh. So yeah.
That's what it feels like. It feels like you're just right inside of the moment, like not wasting no time. It feels a little fast paced, but like in a really good way.
Yeah, and
And it
sometimes a lot
does.
of times it's staged as well, though. Like I said, that fake laugh, yo, you stage someone to fake laugh. Fake laughing feels weird, but it actually gets people going. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it makes you laugh because you feel so silly doing
Silly,
it.
yeah. And then people are like,
Right.
"Am I gonna look crazy?" I'm like, Trust me, you're not. You're probably gonna look
Right, like
more sexy being like just staring at me in the camera, not knowing how to pose, than you just fake laughing with your friends. So yeah.
no, for real. And that kinda sounds like a way that you've used your psychology degree.
Yeah,
Can you
girl.
tell us about how you did that? Were you, like, always intending to be in this creative field, or was that just, like,
I
another
think I
quick.
was always meant to be a creative just because I had a mother who was a creative herself. So she was like a graphic designer, layout person in the 90s. So she had kind of like taught me to be creative, and also it's just in my genetics, I guess. And I got into psychology. I got my psychology degree at Spelman because I wanted to be a therapist, or I wanted to explore industrial organizational psychology. And I loved it. I loved psychology, but when I graduated, I just kinda went full-fledged with the photography and never looked back.
Mm,
And as I do get more into my career, I do see, like, how I'm using the psychology degree to, I guess, network and get the photo that I want out of muses, so, yeah.
yeah.
It's always been there. The psychology was second, but I always been, like, someone who's been interested in psychology, like, even being young into, like, I consider, like, astrology or just understanding, like, sociology and always being intrigued and curious
Mhm.
about people in different cultures. To me, that's like psychology in a sense. So I was always into that, like, always reading or looking into, like, listening to things or watching videos about things that had to do with the mind or why
Mm.
people thought or think the way they did. So I think I've always been into it. So yeah, but creativity definitely comes first.
Also, shout out to your mom for that. Is that what brought her to the States?
Um, what brought my mom to the States was she was married to my dad in the military. But I know while my mom was overseas in the UK, she worked on like a couple magazines. She was doing like
Mm.
typesetting. So even before she came to the States, like she was in like some creative field and all that. So yeah.
That's so beautiful. I love when we can, like, easily pinpoint our creative influences from a young age, and the fact
Yes.
that it's your mom, I don't hear mom very often on the podcast. We talk about our grandmas a lot here. Everybody like, "It was my grandma,
Yeah.
it was my grandma." For me, it was one of my sisters. So I just love this might be the first one, which I love a milestone. So
Oh,
shout out to your mama.
not like I really say, like, shout out to my parents and especially my mom, like, very ahead of their time, like, even making
Yeah.
sure that I was, like, in certain creative classes and things like that, and I think they've always given me the space, even, like, when I first got out of college and I wanted to pursue, like, photography full time, even though they was a little worried, like, they still gave me the space or, like, the opportunity to be a creative and be a photographer. So they've always like, made sure that was something that was rooted in me. So yeah, shout out to my mom
Mm.
and shout out to my dad. Like I would have to say, like, even the psychology part, like the networking, like my dad used to always be like, be curious about people, ask
Yeah.
questions, things like that. And that's what his career field was in, was like, recruiting and stuff. So like, you know, bringing those all together, like I always say, like, shout out to God and your ancestors for your creative
Mhm.
abilities, or even if it's not creative, like a lot of times you'll find out that what comes easy to you the most are the things that you like an ancestor was doing it, even if it's not the one that was, the closest in your bloodline. It could have been a great grandma. She was
Yeah.
a photographer and you didn't even know, or
You
even
didn't
your
even know.
uncle who was always taking photos of the family just because he was an official photographer. Like he was documenting and he was, you know, capturing history of your family. Like that's a photographer in a sense as well. So yeah.
Yeah. Always shout out to the family documentarian. We love them and we keep them
Yes,
close.
we love them.
Always.
Even
We
though they
love
be having
them.
embarrassing stuff, we love them.
Right. They keeping them photo albums full.
Yep.
Okay, back to niching down real quick because opening back up to your website, I want to know if you have any like tips or advice for people who are like you, who are like, I want to do all these different things because I like to do all these different things. Do you have any advice on the best way to approach your portfolio? For example, are you the type of person that believes in like the private pages are the best? Do you just put it all out there? What do you think might work the best for folks?
To like put your work out there, you're saying? Like,
Mhm.
I would say the best way to put your work out there is just put it out. Like, I think why event photography became like more therapeutic for me was because I kind of suffer sometimes from perfectionism.
Mm.
And when I was in the studio space and doing like editorial type things, I was always like nitpicking my work and comparing it. And when I got into events, because it's like more documentarian style and like whatever you capture is what was happening. You can't really
Mhm.
fix it, change it, all of that. It just forced me to be like, you just gotta put your work out there. There was so much work that I did in the portrait studio space that I never put out because I didn't like it, which is crazy for me to even be saying this to this day. So yeah, just
Yeah.
putting your work out there, networking, having a website. I'm definitely big, like have your own website because God forbid something happens to like Instagram or any of these platforms. At least there's like a space where people can still come and find your work. I would say definitely use these social media platforms. Instagram is my biggest client flow, like, that's where I get my clients the most, other than word of mouth. But, yeah, definitely put it out there, and don't be so pressed about how perfect it is. Do I think you should make sure that your work is quality and you should make sure that it looks good? Yes. And maybe get some opinions because it can be, constructive criticism can be well, but overall, just put it out there. And also, another thing I think that helped elevate my career was I kinda stopped hoarding my photos. I find that a lot of photographers, they'll take photo content and they never share the work. Me,
Mhm.
one of my, like, strategies, I guess, when I started getting into event photography in New York is I just started giving people their photos. I was like, "You know what? Imma edit these photos." And because, like, I really felt like I just really wanted Black people to have their photos. I was like, "I want you to have
Mhm.
photos, memories when you was young having fun." So I give people access to photos. I usually like have a Pixie set link or a link that everyone can grab it for a certain time. I usually leave up like so for example, I have a link that stays up for the year 2025. You have all year to grab the shots that I took of you and then from there you take it
Mm.
down. But that was the biggest way I think helped me like really get clients and make, great connections was just giving people their photos. Like, sometimes we just want to hold it to ourselves, and it's like, "Nah, like, your art is meant to be shared and shown."
Yeah. I love the year-round pixie set idea, especially considering the event space where it's like, if you went to this event, you didn't get that email from the person or you don't see your picture on their Instagram when they
Yeah.
post it or something like that, being able to connect directly with the photographer, I think speaks to that language that you're talking about where it's like, especially when we're talking about the event space, this is documented history. There's
Yeah,
not gonna be this same day ever again. It
ever
don't
again.
matter if it was Black Market Flea, yes, it happens monthly, but were you at
Yeah,
the
but this
one.
specific day, it's not
Right.
happening. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and I
also
really
too,
appreciate
like,
that.
I find with, like, event photographers, like, I really want for people to also see it as an art. It is an art form. A lot
Definitely.
of times it's like not to say it's disposable, but we're a service. Like event photography is really a service. Like someone needs their event shot to prove that this event happened or to market that their product or whatever, market whoever's at the event to get more traction whenever they need. But like these photos are literally going to be what you look back at when you're maybe 50 years old and like, yo, I remember, like when your dad and mom or family members is showing you photos from back in the day. They're like, you remember me? Remember, I remember this time and day.
Yeah.
Like I aspire for, like, my work to be that, like, I want it to be where it's like, "Yo," I want it to be in your house, like, I don't want it just to be, like
Yeah.
I want it to be in your house, like, I want you to maybe go ahead and print out the photo, things like that, like, I just want you to cherish it, I want you to feel good, like, this photo is what made me feel good, so yeah.
And you know what? We haven't talked about this with another event photographer on the podcast yet, but it's so true that people treat event photography like it isn't an art. When if we look at some of the most historical images, they are largely at parties, at events.
They're event photos, or it was
Okay,
a
you know what I'm
picture or a
saying?
portrait of someone at an event.
Yeah, or a meetup, like, even if it was, like, politically centered, it's like people gathering is the heart of, like, documentary culture
And
and
also being an
photography.
event photographer, it takes a lot of energy out of you too, like, you have to
Gosh.
You know, I also say this tells you, like I'm not gonna say this determines who's a good event photographer or not, but, like,
Mhm.
you're literally interacting, like, some parties will have 1,000 people, some will have 3,000, some will have you're shooting a festival, like, you have to interact with people, like, that is a extreme skill in its sense, like, in itself,
Mhm.
like, a lot of people, especially in this day and age, don't know how to socially interact. So
Man, the pandemic did a number on us.
but, like, that is a whole, like, art form, like, the psychology to it, like, and just the fact that you gotta make 500 people look good in one party. Like,
Couple
that
hours.
yeah, like, or make sure that you capture the shot where they not looking crazy. So, yeah, it's an art to it. It's more documentary style, but it's definitely an art. It's just more, like, on the documentary style of it. So, yeah.
Yeah. I appreciate your approach a lot, and considering how you said already at the beginning, your website ain't updated, we gonna pull up the Instagram so folks can see the most
Okay,
updated work.
cool.
And while we do that, I would love for you to talk about your use of film. Some
Okay.
of these images at the event, are you using your film photography? How are you managing that in low light settings? What are some tips like the girls can be using to make sure they come out with pristine, crisp, beautiful images?
Okay. So when it comes to like my film photography work, honestly, that is a point and shoot camera. It's about finding a
Yeah.
good point and shoot camera and sticking with it. This specific point and shoot camera I bought this camera about 50 times. I remember the first time I got this point and shoot camera was probably like 6, 7 years ago. And they break, they're older.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Portra 400 and 800. That's what I usually shoot when I'm shooting film. But really it's point and shoot. But I would say, like, I do know how to do manual film photography, but when it comes to events, like, the point and shoot is easy on the go, and it comes out beautiful. Like, I
Yeah.
sometimes get booked more for film photography than I do digital. Um,
Come on.
but I would say, like, if you are gonna be doing the route where you need to make sure, like, your ISO is right and your shutter speed, and for events specifically, you need to have a high shutter. That even goes for digital. With the new event cameras, you can kind of keep in the hundreds, but if you're trying to like open up like the brightness of the background, you will have to bring your images, your shutter down. But that like you need to make sure your equipment has good stabilization and things like that if you're really trying to get things sharp and a good flash. And then also with film, I would say like knowing, understanding the ISO. So like portrait 400 versus 800. If you're a photographer, 800 is gonna brighten up. 800 you should use for dark spaces. 800 you may get a little bit more grain, but one thing I've noticed is like it depends on the camera you got. Depending on the
Mhm.
camera, the film camera, I've used a film camera, used the same roll, and the color came out differently. It came out grainier, which made me go back to my handy dandy point and shoot that I always use. So,
Yeah.
I would say, like, to me, I think the best way to learn is to, like, maybe even learn digitally. And also with film, it's also knowing that you may have mistakes, that the film may not come out how you thought it was gonna come out, and I think that's the exciting part about film. The part, like, when you send it to get developed and being like, "Yo, how did this shot come out?"
Mhm.
So, it's honestly learning what is the photography triangle thing, the
Yeah.
ISO shutter and what the f-stop. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
another thing. Your f-stop, like, you know, how low does the f-stop on that? If it's not a if it's a lens that you can take off the film camera, like, is it a 2.0? Is it does it only go down to 4? Like, that all determines everything, and yeah, so it's a lot, but I think, like, the easiest way to learn is, like, if you wanna test is, like, shoot on your camera digitally, the settings, and see what it comes out on your digital camera, and then do it on film, and then from there, you know, have a formula. That's, like, the same with digital event, like, I have a formula. I have the same settings most of the time, like, I finally honed
Yeah.
out settings that I like, it's the same thing every freaking time for the most part, so yeah.
And really you figured that out through trial and error. Like, what is the look that you like the
But,
most?
yeah, I would say with film, if it's gonna be a client, make sure you, have a
You know
backup.
what you do. Yeah.
Have a backup, or make sure you practice on that film camera before,
Yeah.
you take on that big client, or have something where you let the client know, like, I have, like, a clause in, like, my agreements, like, I am shooting film, but there's a possibility that the film can get messed up because it is a physical product, and, like, people have to
That's a
develop
great
it.
point.
Depending on the place where you go get it to developed, it may come out looking different. So, it's a
Mhm.
whole thing, so just protect yourself when it comes to that.
That's a really good point. That's a great note. I'll definitely add that to the notes, the show notes. And I think last section for this part of our segment, I would love if you can give some advice to some women. I think a lot about like the truth of the industry right now, currently. I think with the rise of AI, a lot of creatives have gotten a bit scared, rightfully so. There's no judgment from me in this moment, either way.
Yeah.
And what does that mean for us as photographers, for us as Black women photographers, and how we're navigating these spaces? What jobs are still ours? And good or bad, whatever your perspective is, please feel comfortable to share as much as you like. But what do you think is the truth about this industry right now for Black women photographers?
Like, in the more, like, the AI space, or, like, just in general?
I'm thinking more AI space, but I'm okay with like a general response also.
Alright, so I definitely can get into the AI topic because I like to speak about this. So I would say with AI, I am now in the neutral space of it. Before I was actually more pro. And the reason why I'm pro is because I like the efficiency that AI brings.
Mhm.
Also, too, I find that, like, I think there's, like, a lot of propaganda against AI where it's, like, freaking us out because now we're seeing how it can, like, take over art and music, and
Yeah.
I personally don't believe in it all the way in the creative space, but I'm also like, this is what our grandma and grandparents was complaining about certain technologies that we're using
When the
today.
computer dropped.
Yeah, like, they was like, "What the" like, so to me, I kinda feel like I can't get I don't know, that's kinda like how I see it, like, we're freaking out too much, but I
Mhm.
do think we do need to be wary of it or you need to get with the program.
Yeah.
So, learn AI. Instead of being scared of it, it's here. It's not going anywhere. So, AI's been here, but I guess for me, I just kinda have, like, just the faith in, like, human creativity and the creation of like, what humans make that I don't think it can really ever be replicated. It
Yeah.
can, but, like, I don't know, it doesn't really scare me. Like and I don't know if that's because 'cause I'm in events and you can't really AI events,
Mhm.
but it doesn't really scare me, and I also think, like, maybe we could see it if we want to see it in a positive light, maybe we can see it, like, with the rise of AI, I think people are gonna want to be have more real world things happening, and with that being said, it may actually cause people to start going outside, to actually start networking with your neighbor, or actually start
Yeah.
creating actual community outside of the internet and social media. So this may be the push to get us back to, back to interacting with each other in real life. And I could kind of see the positive for event photographers. Like now that people are like, I'm sick of all this AI stuff. Like I want to have actual events going on. There may be actually a opportunity for photographers to thrive in that space. But I don't know, like I sometimes use AI when it comes to, for example, like Lightroom,
Mhm.
copy and paste in the same edit. I need to fix a girl's eye who is low like this from the event. Um,
Mhm.
I feel like certain editing, like if you want an acne bump taken away, like I don't know. I can see the pros and the cons, but I'm definitely like in the neutral. Like I said, I was originally pro, but then I started getting like, this is getting a little weird. And the way it's like, environmental racism is getting involved with it as well. Like how they're, there's a lot of stuff going on. So I just think there needs to be more regulation on it and especially more regulation in the creative space for it. So yeah.
Yeah. It's good to hear your perspective also, especially as an event photographer, because that's what I was thinking about too, where I'm like, how can it even like change up this specific part of the photography industry? And I can't see it. The closest thing would be like the photo booths that got really popular after a while,
Yeah.
but that's still only one part of the event. So in a lot of
Yeah.
ways, I still see a lot of safety.
There's a lot of safety, but and I guess another concern would be the biggest concern for me is how
Hmm.
AI is being used like in Black communities or how AI is taking Black imagery. It's just going back to controlling our narrative. Like I'm really big on Black
Yeah.
photographers capturing Black content, Black people, Black events, Black everything. Like I always feel like if you're gonna have an event that's centered around Black people, Black artists, like you should have Black people capturing us.
Yeah.
And so I guess that is kinda like what kinda also worries me with AI. It's just like the controlling of our own stories and knowing how media has warped Black stories or the Black image or the Black body. That would also be another concern for me, or how AI is gonna be accessible to everybody. Like, is it only gonna be accessible to a certain group of people? Like, how is this accessibility and how it's going to affect my and your community. So yeah, that
Yeah.
would be another reason I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
So
I
we'll
feel like
see.
that's well, I mean, that's kind of like where I'm at, where I see some
Like, I'm
pros and
not
some
like
cons.
anti it, like, because I'm using it. Like,
Yeah.
I it's actually helped my life, but in the
Yeah.
creative sense, like, yeah, like, I don't know. I don't know.
I'm big on I don't want Black people to get left behind because
Yes.
that's I think one of the biggest parts of the failures where it's like 5 years from now, if it takes that long, all of these other jobs have been created and now there's a big group of people that don't have the skill because they didn't take the time to develop it while it was in beta mode.
Or like being concerned about like, because we're left behind and it's taking how we speak, how we take pictures, how we draw. how just the way
And it's
white
going back to the narrative thing where it's like, now you've created this, like, carbon copy of a Black aesthetic, a Black culture,
yeah, and it's like
and
we're not even in control of it. So that's like my biggest
yeah.
concern for real. If it's gonna go that way, then stop the shit right now. That's
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of like
yeah.
that's I think there
Yeah.
should be regulations, but then it gets into the conversation like, do we want the government regulating shit like this? Like
'Cause at the
it's
same time, can't trust them. Spies you
yeah,
could throw 'em, and
it's
you
a whole
can't.
thing. But I mean, I just feel like it's another of when the internet came, or when the first car was made, or when the airplane was made. Niggas was
Absolutely.
probably like, "What the fuck? It's about to be a rapture." Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, we've been watching movies that have been using AI for God knows long. So it's like
Tens and tens of
freaking out
years.
because it's becoming. Y'all are freaking out because it's becoming accessible, and
Mhm.
now I feel like this is me getting on my little superstitious shit. So
Come on,
now
we finna put the tinfoil hats on, let's
okay,
go.
well, now that they see that people don't like the accessibility of it, they're gonna be like, "Okay, right, now we're gonna go back to regulating it."
Mhm. And what does that mean? And what does that do? And then who has the power to do XYZ? Yeah, I
Or
completely
maybe we want it in
resonate.
the hands of the people, so I don't know. Anyways, yeah,
I resonate, I resonate. I
yeah,
appreciate you also just offering your perspective on that. I think it's important to be talking about this
yeah.
in
I was
public,
definitely
like
pro it though at first. Like, I was very pro. Now I'm in the neutral. I'm still, like, fake pro it, like, but I
yeah.
also be careful of me being pro because people be like
I think it's like the spectrum when you're doing a survey where it's like, strongly disagree,
yeah.
disagree, neutral, agree, strongly agree. It's like,
But
I'm
I
somewhere
see
in
a lot of
between
benefit,
agree.
and, like, I really do. Like, I just feel like a lot of stuff has been AI. Like, I just everything's
Yeah.
like, I don't know what y'all are I get why y'all freaking out, but it's like, you just wasn't paying attention. We been in AI world. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's just because it developed so quickly
Yeah,
and
we're seeing it in real time. Before it just wasn't accessible. That's what it is.
yeah. Yeah.
So, hey, we're here. Look,
Okay.
it's probably recording what we saying right now.
Right. Literally.
It's like, okay, let me get this information. It's taking it all in. Like,
You literally
next, we're gonna see ads about anti AI, pro AI. So, yeah.
on our phones right after this interview.
Yeah.
But back to the last thing I wanted to bring up was about this photo A&R position. You mentioned the agency you work for. Can you tell us a little bit about that? And did you come up with the title? Because I really like this title.
All right, so I work for Collective Gallery. It's an agency and label based in Atlanta. It was started by Cam Kirk. So a lot of people know about me. I was part of like the original like Cam Kirk squad, Cam Kirk Studio
Mhm.
squad.
Shout out to
Um,
Cam Kirk.
Yep, shout out to him. And so basically I work as like I would say like a project manager, photo A&R, photo commissioner. I help vet and scout photographers for the agency when they need them for projects. And because it was a label and still is technically a label, the best way to name it was photo A&R. So
Nice.
and I came to him with the position or the role because I was like, yo, I know a lot of photographers from everywhere, internationally, everything. Like, I really want to help other photographers get opportunity the same way he's provided opportunities for photographers who are in my circle as well. So yeah, that's kind of like the gist of it because it's a label for photographers, like the first ever labeled for photographers where we sign photographers like basically like music artists. But we are now more like in the agency working space of it where, we have more like clients and we do more like agency work, like working with like brands to get social media content or editorial, all of that, events, everything across
Nice.
the board. Yep.
Love it. Beautiful. Well, this feels like a good place to take a break, so we'll be right back and get into the next segments. This episode is brought to you by Art House, the first Black-owned film lab in the city of Los Angeles. Art House specializes in C41, black and white, E6, and ECN2 processing for 35mm and medium format film, using a custom-built cinema scanner to deliver stunning movie quality stills. Pick up or drop off a roll at their new location in Chinatown and check them out at arthousefilmlab.com or at arthousefilmlab on IG. And tell them we sent you. And we're back. So our next segment is our favorite. It's called the PLC playlist. I need you to put us on
Hey.
to a song that you playing right now that we could play on set, and we're gonna put it on our playlist.
Okay, so I'm always listening to music. I'm about to pull up the song right now because it's a new artist.
Perfect.
I seen like his video like on TikTok. It's the EJ Jones. He's like a high-end, but he, like, has, like, a very soulful voice. I would say, like, the Gas Station Love, but I like his other song called Too Good because 'cause
Too
I'm a simp.
good.
So, Too Good by EJ Jones.
I'm dead.
It's like some old shit, but it's like, no, he's a YN and, like, you would never think his voice would have sounded like this. But I also was talking with my barber the other day. I was like, "You know what? If the men who had his voice back in the day, like in the 1920s, were like used to transfer them to time in the future, they would look just like him. They just had this voice." So I love it.
Oh,
I hope he blows up.
that's so cute. Wait, why you say you a simp? You a Pisces?
I'm a Pisces moon. I'm a
Mm.
Cancer rising,
See, that's what I was
but
gonna say next. A Cancer or a Pisces?
Cancer rising. No, I'm a Capricorn though, but I love like sad music. Like I love like
No,
music that
true.
gets you in your feelings. I'm a R&B, neo soul, anything that's like I even like the sad like rock music. Like I like sad music.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just like it. It's always been like that for me. I got hella playlists in that genre too. So
Cute. Okay, cool. I'm
this isn't
adding it.
sad though. It's R&B. So
Right. We know the vibe. R&B. It's a little slow. It's okay. Okay, so my addition to the PSD playlist this week is by Mona Leo, Sexy Sulan. This song has been stuck in my
yes.
head. I
The
love the song.
visuals, I
The
watched
video,
the video, I'm a big visuals person, like, music video stuff, like,
naturally.
I
Yes.
love the music video, I love how she's representing the African American flag. I saw
Man.
a tweet, it was like, "Yeah, we need to start doing this flag instead of that red, white, and blue one."
Okay.
I love it, like, the whole video, everything, the styling, the quality of how it's shot,
Everything.
they snapped. Love it.
They snapped. All the little nuances in the song that are references to Black American culture. It's just so
Mm.
good. All the non-blacks to the back. Hey.
Like how she even, like, even though it's, like, Black American culture, how she put in the back, like, all the Black other countries.
Yeah, exactly, the diaspora. It's like, come
Diaspora, like, she
on.
did that, like, had her uncle in there, and one thing I love about her, she's always, like, referencing, like, Black spirituality in her videos and
Yeah,
things like that, like, I love it, like, she got it.
perfect. Shout out Mona Leo and EJ Jones this week. We finna be throwing
Yes.
y'all in rotation. Our next segment is called Photographs Not Taken. This one is a fan favorite, and I'm so happy because this is the first segment I created when creating this podcast. The question is, what's a photograph you wish you would have taken but never did?
That's a good one. That's a hard one. This is
I
one of them
love
questions
this
you
one.
send to me in the email, and then I could think about it. A photograph that I wish I would have taken.
Just for some context.
Okay.
This one, I love this. I think honestly, this feeling is in part what made me want to start the podcast. I
Yeah.
see images with my eyes all day long. And sometimes I just don't have my camera on me or I miss it. I try to take it, whatever. And they just stick in my head. I see them vividly
Yes, I
and
do
they
that
just
too.
never
Yeah.
go away. You know what I'm saying? And so through that, I've just always asked people this question in different ways because I want to know the images that live in your head. So with that context, I'll let you marinate on that and then we'll come back while we visit the other
Okay, yeah, let's
segment.
come back to that. No. So I didn't know if you wanted it to be like a photo, like a famous photo that or it could just be like anything that we see.
Um,
Yeah, I wasn't sure. So I was like, but I love that. Like, girl, you need to run with that. Run that down today, girl. I know you're doing it right
right?
now. Just like you- that's a whole bunch of different concepts for things. Keep that
No,
going.
for real, for real.
'Cause I like every day, like when I don't have my camera, I'm like, damn that be or like you know when you're like, I'm gonna take a break with the camera. But that's why I
Right, I'm
carry
gonna try to be in the moment and live and be present, and then you see all these images and you're like, "Oh my god."
so I feel like photographs I wish I could have taken. I've actually been really like I used to really be interested in birding photography. Um
Oh,
and why I think I was interested in this, one of my first ever internships in photography, shout out to Jennifer Shavers, a woman photographer based in Florida. She
hey.
was a newborn photographer and she taught me studio photography through newborn photography. And then
Mhm.
during COVID, I was doing a couple newborn photography in the hospitals, but I've seen birthing photography and I just think it's just so beautiful, like capturing like the birth, the life of children to some people, it
Yeah,
may be a little gruesome and things like that, but I just think it's beautiful. Like, I don't know, like there's a couple I follow. I wish I could give their names, but the way they color grade the images and the way they just like capture like the couple bringing their bundle of joy into the world.
yeah.
So definitely like when I see photos like those, I definitely like, damn, like that's a real intimate moments. Like I'm really big about like capturing like intimate moments. Like even in the club, I hate where like I see like a real cute couple and I miss that photo like of them just connecting in the club. You're surrounded by all these people and like you're just so focused on this one individual. Like I
Like,
think that's just beautiful. Like
that's their world. I
your world,
love
like it's a
love those
beautiful and you're
images.
just surrounded by all this kind of maybe like chaos or whatever. Like I love it. I love it. So anything
Yeah.
that's like intimate like that, like I those are the photos like I wish I could take more of. So yeah.
I
Or
love
take.
that. That's a perfect response. Okay, beautiful. Let's go to the next one. It's called The Gear Don't Matter. But this segment is here because, like all photographers, we know that the gear don't really matter what you're using. You can have the same exact gear as another photographer. Y'all gonna end up with two different images because it's all about your eye. But
Definitely.
in that same regard, our gear helps us create the images we really want to make, and we end up loving our gear. They are incredible tools for us. So I'm curious, what's your favorite piece of equipment that you use? It doesn't have to be a camera, but it can be.
My favorite equipment right now is I bought the 15 to 35 millimeter lens that Canon just came out with.
Mhm.
I love it. It has changed my event game. It captures I'm a wide shot photographer. I love capturing like wide shots. Like one of my favorite things when it comes to event photography, I love like capturing like everything that's happening in the scene. So going back to like if it's a couple kissing in the corner and then the
Yeah.
subject's in the middle, but then you see somebody's twerking on the other side. Like I actually love to keep that in photos. So the 15 to 35, everyone has a 24 to 70. That was my baby. But the 15 to 35,
A
yes.
nice wide one. I
I'm
like
so
that.
happy they came out with that lens, like, it it just makes me very happy.
I could tell in your work too, everything, especially on your Instagram right now, everything is looking really wide and really good. You get a little bit of that distortion. It just feels so
I love
good.
it. I feel like one thing I dislike is, like, when I send people the photos and they don't realize, like, I'm shooting it that way and they clients or
Right.
they'll crop it out, and I'm like, the whole purpose of me
That's the
having
point.
the wide like, of course, sometimes it's you, so you can make sure you capture everything, you have space to crop, but, like, I want you to see those people in the background.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. That's the whole point. So, like, yeah, I love that. This lens right here, yeah,
Hey, shout out to that 1535. Might have to add it to the kit. You know what I'm saying?
it is great. It is a great lens.
And lastly, this segment is for us to help you manifest your next big dream job. So it's called the Shoot Your Shot. Who is somebody or a company you would love to photograph or
I
work for? Commission
work
some work
for a
for.
photograph. Okay, let me think.
Or maybe you commissioning
I always
somebody
get
else.
asked this question. I really never really have the question, like, I have it in mind, but,
Yeah.
the answer to it. But I would really love to, I guess, like, in general, work with, like, a company, like, maybe, like, National Geographic, like, being able to travel the world documenting, like, different communities or events or societies and things. So maybe, like, that's a company. I guess also manifest I think I would like to go on tour again, so manifesting a tour where I also get really paid very well. But I guess overall, I would like to manifest, like I'm, like, really happy where I'm at, but I wanna
Yeah.
manifest, gigs where it's, like, more money, like, I want them
Yeah.
10K, 15, 20K,
You know what
30K
I'm saying?
photography gigs, and then honestly, overall, I wanna, like, manifest, like, more growth in my coordinating career that I'm going into. Like, I would love to eventually be, like, a photo director for a big company or for, like, a museum or something. Like, I wanna be a photo director somewhere, like, just,
Yeah.
managing, like, the photo teams, managing the content and all of that, or even being in spaces where I'm archiving work, like, that would be so
Yeah.
beautiful for me, especially archiving, like, black photos and black work, so, yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna need somebody. Who do you want to photo direct for?
Photo direct for
Because we gotta put all of our good energy together for it.
I gotta think about it for real, like, I don't know.
Mm.
I mean, I don't know, like, I gotta think about it. I don't really, to be honest, like I'm not someone I've never really been like this, and maybe I could do it more. Like, I'm not really driven by like the company or
Mhm.
the person. It's like maybe more of the opportunity or if I'm going to
Mm.
enjoy the experience. So maybe like photo directing for honestly in the event space, like some big festivals, photo festivals. So I can't tell you specifically. As long as like it's aligned with my brand and aligned with like helping my community and my people, I'm cool with it. But I can't tell you like no.
Well, then in that way, we gonna put all of our energy together to get National Geographic on the line. We gonna hit Kai email with about a good $20,000 to go travel the world and document some different communities. And then right after she gets off that gig, a really incredible artist with a really large budget is gonna take her on tour.
Okay, right.
And
R&B,
once she's,
also maybe.
you know what I'm saying? We got some names in our minds who could do that. And then after all of that, she gonna take maybe like a quick little vacation, hop around an island or 2 or something. Then we gonna come back to start our photo director role, maybe at a festival or 2, so that
Yep.
she can get this beautiful, rewarding next step in her journey. And Kai, thank you so much for manifesting with us. We're happy to manifest with you and joining me today on the podcast. Can you let the people know where they can find you?
All right, you can find me at Kai Tsehay, Kaitsehay on Instagram, my website. If you want to find interviews that I've done before or articles about me, it'll be under that name. Or if you want to be on my more page that I'm active, you can find me at official underscore Kai Kai, Kaikai on Instagram. So yeah, and I appreciate you. I love this platform. Like I love seeing other Black women photographers having platforms to put more Black women on, so we here. We
Hey, thank you
going.
so much for that. And you can find us, excuse me, you can find us at Photographer Life Check everywhere you get your podcast. Be sure to watch us, especially on Spotify or YouTube, and you can see some clips also on Instagram. And stay tuned as our season is wrapping down. We got a lot of beautiful things coming. And you can find me, your host, Chrissy, at QURISSY, anywhere you can find me. We'll see y'all next time. Bye.
See ya.